Hi, today I'll be demonstrating my personal drawing app. This demonstration is being used on an Nexus 7. First, you see all the fundamental features of my application, such as draw, erase, color selection, and sorting brush size. After that, I will quickly demonstrate the sensors being used in my app. Then I'll talk through the code required to create the application. Personal drawing app. The amount of time you spend looking at splash screen is exactly the same amount of time it takes the app to configure itself. So as you've seen, my first screen was the splash screen, and now we're in the login page. I'm just going to register just to create an account quickly. So it allows me to use the features of the app, go into the main page to use the application. I'm just gonna type test for simplicity, register, and they don't match. Another thing that I've got in my registration page is validation, which is quite nice. So I'm just gonna draw something on the canvas. Actually, I'll use a better color with blue. Now I'm going to delete. Well, I'll just create a new drawing, which should set the canvas into clear. The next thing I want to demonstrate is the brush size. So we will start with the small size, which is that one, medium, and the big size. I'm going to clear using the rubber now. One thing that I've done with my rubber is set as black, because I can actually see how much of the area I've covered, and it determines how much is going to be erased from the screen. For example, that. So if I had in white, I wouldn't know how much area has been covered. Another feature included in my application is animation. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, there's a green button with the plus sign. If I click on it, you will see that two other buttons appear, as well as like the plus sign rotates, and that's one of the animations that I've used. The other one is the splash screen, which has been demonstrated already. Also, for every single time you click a color, a message should be displayed telling you what color has been selected. So right now, if I click red, light brown I mean, or red, it should tell you what color has been selected. And I'm going to demonstrate my first sensor, which is a light sensor. So if the light sensor is detected in the device, a welcome message should be displayed as following: welcome, let's see your drawing skills. My second sensor is a music player, so we use the speakers to play a music. I'll just quickly demonstrate that by clicking the plus sign at the bottom of the screen and play. I don't know if you can hear that, but music is being played right now.
Through the valley of the shadow.
And I can also pause the music. My third sensor is a camera, so what you should do is take a picture, save the picture, get the picture back and set on the canvas so I can actually draw it. Should be saving the drawing that I've just created and check if it has been persisted successfully. I'll launch the camera, take a quick picture, and it should get it back and set as in the canvas. And I'll just create a smiley face, save the image, go into Astro File Manager just to check if the image has been saved or not. Go into Pictures, and as you can see, my image has been saved. For my fourth and final sensor, I'll be using accelerometer. So it will trigger one of my functions, which is erasing the canvas, and I'll just demonstrate it now. So I'm just writing something into the canvas, and what I have to do to clear is shake the device, as you're gonna see in front of. As you can see, it has been deleted.
Things a bit unbecoming. Wasn't the last thing you would have said? Go find it. Find yourself. Oh, yeah, what's that thing that I showed you? You can find, you know, when it was like my father. Oh, you do persistence is where you type something and you save it. Close it up, you shut the app off, you open it. Yeah, and I'm going to show you. It's in the
I'm just going to demonstrate adding something to the database. And this is why it's called real-time database, as you can retrieve the data instantly. Go through the code and explain a little bit more about my application. So right here we have the method. We're gonna have to override the method onTouchEvent. Using the touch event to listen when you touch the screen, and it will get registered as a drawing operation using the parameter motion event. It enables particular touch events such as up, down, and move. You touch the screen, move to the position to start drawing. So if you move the finger, it will trigger the operation to draw the path, and if you take the finger off, it will then reset and be ready for the next operation. The next method I want to talk about is the onDraw method, which we're going to be overriding as well. So by overriding, the class will function as a drawing view. This works with the touch interaction method. When the screen is touched, invalidate the view, allowing this method to be executed. So by invalidating, you're forcing it to redraw. So is the next operation. And now I'm going to talk about the overriding method on the onSize changed. This one will allow so when you assign a size to the brush, it will detect this method and will do all the functions that I've got it here. And by using the height and width values, I justify a bitmap to the canvas, which defines how pixels are stored. So the bitmap is used to control the display of the screen. In simple words, it's just like saying, select the color you wish to pass it to the paint, so the brush, using bitmap configuration AAA. The next method I want to just mention is the set color. So this one, it just gets the brush object and sets and pass the colors into it. So in the setup drawing, for the setup drawing, we first instantiate the drawing path and paint object. Next, we set the initial color, and now we set the initial path properties. So this is just setting the stroke, round, making a bit more beautiful. The anti-alias, stroke, join, and cup styles allows the drawing to have a better and smooth look, which is really good. That's what. Now I'm just going to talk about this method on click. I'm going to override the on click method because we are inheriting from the custom view class, so we can use the objects from the custom view class. Right here we're saying get this ID. So if the brush button is clicked, right, we want to display a new dialog message or just a dialog with the brush sizes. And in the dialog we're going to have options to set as a small, medium brush and big brush right here. We also have some toast messages to warn you that you have selected small, medium or big brush. So this first line here is saying that if the user clicks the draw button and chooses a brush size, we need to set back to drawing in case they have previously been erasing. And the second one is setting the brush size back to the last one used when drawing rather than erasing. Here we have our rubber method. So we set the rubber to true or false just to identify are we using the rubber or not. And then we alter the paint object to erase or switch back to drawing. On this module, I think that I try to target all the high marks from the grading rubric. A bad point is that I didn't implement everything that I wanted to. So for example, my API could have been a little better by setting usernames into it, putting dates, perhaps whether my user interface look could have been a little bit better as well by changing the colors, having a nice round border on the menu. But I did adapt as much as I could to make it look nice, to implement the best features into my application. Overall, I'm really happy with my overall app as well as the module. The module has been really interesting and easy to follow as well, although there has been challenges into it. And I believe that I've worked hard and produced something great. I mean, could have been better, but it is something great.